All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here today, I'm kind of continuing to melt up. We're up 0.5% about. We are off the highs of the day, but market looking a little tired here. So we kind of tried to continue to melt up here into the lunch hour, little kind of minor double top, and now backing off of the highs. It is about 3:30 here, and there is still some gamma exposure at 463. So on SPY, I think we talked about that earlier, and we kind of hit that. We basically hit it almost to the penny. So again, giving out a lot of make sure you pay attention to those YouTube shorts in the morning. So 56297. So I gave that level out. Didn't quite get to 463 to the penny, but 3 cents off, pretty close. By the way, speaking of free stuff, Unity up another 6%. And I talked about this. This is 2 days in a row. I should have taken my own advice, but DJT was up 25%. We talked about this in one of the chats earlier. I said I kind of liked it at this level here. There's a volume shelf. I know I don't use volume shelf that often. I put it into our chat just so it would be easier for people to see what I was looking at. But you can see here, obviously, the big level there around 17, which we were below. And this was at 9 in the morning. I talked about this. But just a big zone here. 15, right? It's where we were before we broke out. 17. And I like the candles of the last 2 days. We gapped down, but we finished off the lows. And then today, big up move, and it was halted. I think Trump saying that he was not selling the stock or something like that. It's a meme stock, but just fun stuff here. Either way, markets here today holding up nicely, up 0.5%. We could pump into the close. Maybe maybe we hit 563. There is some GEX at 56.50 as well. I don't know if we have enough gas to get there at this point, but right now market is still acting well, and again, a lot of people still expecting that recession to crash the market, and I think that's kind of where it's very easy to get into trouble here. But right now, the closer we get to OPEX, I think, like I said, dips will be supported, and I would not get in front of this just yet. I still think 5,700 is probably max upside for right now. But again, market acting well. We're into a big level here, right? So this was a 56.50. We almost got there. And we're kind of right into the meat of this. A lot of trapped longs, and that's probably why we're stalling out. Another big level here that we'll look at on the triple Qs is right here. So we are above that breakdown bar, so I'm just going to get rid of that, so clean up the chart. But right there, nice topside trend line 1, 2, 3. So we may get a pullback here. If there's any spot we're going to do it, it could be right here. You can see also a tightening range as well. So the blue trend line, which is the head and shoulders of death that everybody's going to point to, but if we can break back up, we can kind of negate that setup. Additionally, I took the liberty of doing this here, and a lot of the time when you hit a 618, it can be like a launch pad, and we effectively hit it. But the reason I'm doing that is because, take a look here. We just draw this up. And again, just looking at all scenarios right now. We assume that's a measured move, if that's a high or low. That should take you to about 510. It's right there. Here. Just so you can see. That would be a new high. Again, that doesn't mean we'll go straight there. That doesn't mean it's even going to happen, but it's just something to keep in mind. Now, how can that happen? We're going into recession. We're going to the yield curves unwinding, and the yen and this and that. Well, I learned a long time ago, don't argue with the chart, because that will get you into trouble. But again, keep all scenarios in mind. Why are we up today? Speaking of the yen, why are we up today? We're below where we were on August 5th. Maybe I was right, and maybe the yen's a sideshow to leverage short vol. That's been my case the whole time. I mean, hell, look at last year in December. Was the carry trade blowing up then? It doesn't look like it. We were going up pretty fast. So again, don't argue with the tape. Don't fight the tape until it gives you a signal to get in. And I don't think I have one right now. In fact, I'm sure I don't. But either way, here, market's acting well, and again, we're above the that you know breakdown bar from the beginning of the month, and we're going into the Fed meeting here. So if there's a turning point, it's probably right around then. We've got a lot of cycle dates coming up as well, so we need to be cautious here as we get into the back half of September. Historically, that's where the volatility comes from. That's why I said in the beginning, if you'll recall, last Monday, or I should say Tuesday, I said, feels like traders are trying to front run the September volatility. Like we just came out of nowhere with this sell bar, and there was really no explanation for it other than the market's now expecting 25 basis points, and it's mad that it wants, narrative follows price. So I don't buy any into that stuff, but yeah, we're above it. The back half of September is where we need to be careful. Anyway, triple Qs again. We'll see about this trend line here. It lines up perfectly with the SMH also, so probably important. IWM, though, the big winner on the day, up 2%, back above all the moving averages. Take a look at this, guys. Everybody keeps trying to dunk on the Russell every time it goes down. This on the monthly is this is a good pattern. Big wide range green bar, breakout, wedge, resistance. This level been resistance for 3 years. We break above it, test candle, test candle. We'll see where this closes at the end of the month, but I mean, if this just goes sideways inside of that green, I think this is going up to the highs. That can't happen because we have recession. Well, why are we going up now? There's more than one reason things can go up. We could even make a case now we got a wedge here too. So forget the narratives. Just follow price. Diamond here, up 70 basis points, not quite to a new all-time closing high. So really un-American close here on Friday. I mean, all you had to do was go another dollar here. Kind of disappointed in Janet Yellen. I'm disappointed in Jerome Powell. I'm disappointed in Neil Kashkari and Jamie Dimon because this is kind of a joke that you can't. I mean, really, are we doing this here? So, all right, with the Dow, in all seriousness though, Dow secondary all-time closing high, so close to a new all-time closing high. But yeah, Dow continuing to hold up here. Defensive still catching a bid. XLP up nicely. XLU up 1 and 1.1. I think that's an all-time high. And then XLV is off the highs, but it's still holding up. So defensive still acting well. Although they did take a backseat roll this week as the Qs and the Russell got a nice bounce. All right. SMH, again, trend line there. Keep an eye on that. Broadcom had a really nice week, amazing rebound. TSM, amazing rebound. NVIDIA, very good rebound. I told you guys it wasn't going to stay above 120 for too long. There's GEX sitting there. They're not paying that out. Good recovery. My favorite tech sector, IGV, flattish today. Look at the freaking volatility in this. Look, there's Oracle here. If this finishes red, it's going to be insane. What an absolute... Can you imagine? There's somebody had to buy up here. Somebody bought up there at 173. I just can't imagine. And then we had Adobe here falling. This was maybe going to be a day trade for us. I just stayed aside. I had a good week. I didn't want to ruin it. But it held the 618, and it's below. It's below that trend line now. But third hit of the trend line is notorious for piercing, so this might recover. We'll see. It's got a good bounce. It's coming back. So. And IGV is basically flat, despite all that nonsense that's going on right now. I think they'll get Oracle to close green here. They should. That looks like a blow-off top, though, possibly. Look at the volume, right? Look at the monthly. Look at this. Is ridiculous. But pretty amazing stuff here. Dow Transport's holding up nicely. And kind of got like a little falling wedge type look intraday. But still not above the 20. I talked about 15.8. We pierced it. We pulled back. So I'm just going to say right now, I want to see above 15.901. Okay. So we get above that, then that repairs that breakdown. Okay. Rates, again, kind of soft. So 2's coming in. So if we look at Michigan consumer, 1 year expectations inflation came down. So that brought the short end down, as you'd imagine. Then the 5-year expectations was up. It's kind of consistent with my thesis. So the long end was down less. And again, the 30-year still into double bottom. They can't break it. I will say, I'll give the bond bulls credit here. They're going to close the week below 3.7 on the yield on the 10-year for the first time since May of 23. So that is significant to me, but I want to see them follow through. Can you do this after the Fed meeting? It's one thing to do to front run the Fed here, but can you do it afterwards once everything's all been priced in? I'm not so sure on the long end anyway. But we'll respect it for now. Again, yield's still under pressure. XHB, just a powerhouse. New all-time high, well, new all-time closing high potentially, if it can come back 7 cents here. Rates go up, home builders go up. Rates go down, home builders go down. Or go up, rather. Home builders only go up. How about that? Let's make that the title of the video. VNQ up 70 cents. Careful, evening star. Right, big run up, gap up, no follow through, doji. And it is essentially into a 618. For what it's worth, XLRE already hit the 618 and IYR did. These are essentially the same ETF, maybe like save a few stocks. But they are both into their respective 618 and they have pierced. As you can see. This is well above it, actually, kind of coming into that pivot. So I'd just be a little careful here, starting to see those evening stars print on some of these REITs. XLF, again, green today, and let's see, it's right on that 20 moving average. But again, we tested the 50 with a tail candle on volume. I don't really see problems here. I know everybody's freaking out over the banks, but that looks like a healthy shakeout. I will say JPM, not, you know, it's definitely ugly, but remember back in April when we had that huge sell and it was over and the Iran was going to invade the whole world and it was all over with? They did the same thing and then it went and made new all-time highs for like the next 6 months. So be aware of that. KRE up 2.25. Again, not above the 20, but again, you have possible higher low there forming. Still kind of choppy and messy. Come on, there we go. Same thing with KBE, right back into that 52 handle. And then broker dealers can't keep them down either. Broker dealers only go up too. So again, nice move here for XPD. Yeah, never took out the 20. By the way, if you remember last Friday, the last thing I said in this video was we never closed below the weekly 20 MA, and we have not done that arguably, we like by a penny there, arguably since October 30 of last year. So again, big dramatic price action, but no damage on the weekly. So anyway, where do we go? All right, oil here, up 11 cents. Again, at 70 still resistance, then 72. I have no trade on oil. I think it'll be a huge buy at some point, but I don't think we're there yet. XLE up 42 cents. It came off the highs. 86 and 87 are short-term resistance. Decent tail candle on the weekly, though. So that's your positive. With a little uptick in volume. Same thing on XOP and OIH. I like the volume there with the 200 MA hit on the weekly. A lot of support in this area. Need to see follow-through with confirmation next week. Uranium still holding up, but CCJ down a little bit today. Again, on watch for a W bottom. And I like the failed breakdown this week on NJ too, even though it came back in. So these are still chopping around these lower areas. Nat gas pulled back today, but again, we talked about 240. I told you for a while, if you get through this, it's going to 240. That's where it stopped. Draw it in. Put the training wheels on. There you go. But yeah, if this flags or puts in another higher low, it's going to 250 and then maybe higher. So that's still my base case into the late fall. Dollar index, again, can't keep it down, but it's the third higher low there, possibly, and you know, if we follow through on Monday. So again, I just feel like there's a lot of a lot of this stuff is priced in, and that's why I think the dollar is not going down despite the data. So anyway, gold here, again, that's the star of the day, up 1.15, 2610. There you go. So there it is. We'll see, you might overshoot. Again, it's not a short level. It's just a upside target. But we'll see what it does. I'm just careful here. My Twitter feed right now is nothing but gold bugs. Just throwing that out there. Rightfully so. We're at all-time highs, but it's just getting maybe a little frothy. If we were doing this again, kind of like I just said with bonds, if we were doing this after the Fed, I would feel a lot better. We're pumping before the Fed, right? So it's kind of like, okay, what can you say now that's going to wow me? We've already pumped. So not hating, just saying. GDX new 52-week highs, though. That's a good sign. Again, I love the pattern on GoAU. I talked about this in the live stream yesterday with members. Beautiful monthly and the weekly. Look at that. Tight bull pattern. GDX as well. So the miners look good too. That's a huge positive. Again, I'm not trying to rain on the parade. I'm just saying, just be careful. Silver here up 3%. So hammering on that trend line there, that looks good. SIL and SILJ also had big days here too. Platinum up 2.17, good move. Next stop is 1020 if it wants it. And then palladium up 2.2. That I think that's a long-term low in place. I don't make these calls very often, but I think that is. And we did get some gains on that. Yes, Sprott. So nice job there. Lastly, again, before I get into copper, because I'll get a question about it. MOS, yes. We got nice gains on this week too. And again, I've been talking about this level for a long time, like at least a year, maybe closer to 18 months. And booked some nice profits on this. Good weekly bottoming candle. Back above 26 on a weekly close. Very good. So potash names, I haven't talked about them in a while. IPI up 2% as well. NTR, but MOS looks the best right now. Even grains themselves, I haven't talked about wheat. That's back above 595, back above these levels here on a weekly close. Looks a lot better. Soybeans off the lows, not following through as much. Corn up a little bit. I thought there was a recession. Again, forget the narratives. Just follow price. All right. Copper here, 422. Again, got to get above 422 spot 8. It can do that. We got an hour and 20 minutes left. I don't think it's going to. Maybe it will. It could. You'd think that if it was going to happen, it would have happened already, like in the middle of the day. But I think, you know what, it did do it by the, did it do it? Yeah, it did it by the COMEX close. So here's the COMEX close. And it was above it on the COMEX close, so that's fair. So I'd be willing to call it negated ish. I'd prefer if the future is closed above it too. But that's the big level. Possible higher low. Again, where's recession? Where is it? So a lot of conflicting stuff. Like a lot of people go broke. I keep saying this. I'm not trying to mock anybody, but I say this because a lot of people have gone broke trying to, like, I got to be the one who shorts the whole market. I got to be long bonds. I got to short stock. I got to short commodities. And like, what if the recession takes a lot longer to get going? What if we have a soft landing? Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen. It probably, it's only like 2 or 3 times it's ever happened, but it can happen, right? So just throwing the stuff out there. Say this from experience. So Bitcoin here, hammering on 60K. I'd like to see a close above that. I talked about this area here, right? And we're back above this chop zone. Nice bull pattern on the 4-hour, and it's inching up. I know everybody's bearish, but I don't know why. I can't figure out why. But there's a low, there's a higher low. If you take out this high, that's going to be a change of character, right? Because you have not really had that since. So watch that. But we'll see. Bitcoin may be catching up to gold soon. So All right. Again, spiders holding up. I'm not getting in front of this here right now. I don't think it's a good idea. We'll see about the Q trend line. It's holding right now. Got a lot of stuff going on. September is a choppy month, notoriously. A lot of traps, right? Last week was a trap, right? We had a bull trap right here at the bull flag. And we had a bear trap right here. It's very tight. Great environment for day trading. A little tougher to swing trade, but yeah, I think we'll get some more turbulence here for the next couple of weeks. But again, we'll give the market the upside bias, probably at least until that Fed meeting for right now. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. See you guys all on Monday.